I'm really sorry.
What were we serendipity?
Nothing. I was having a nervous reaction.
It's a beautiful.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yes. So hi, I'm Lauren and I'm a fat 32-year-old from Bolton. That's right, I said fat. I also have some pretty errant nostril hair, the occasional outbreak of adult acne, and stretch marks in places so surprising that even my skin has the good grace to blush. Now, all of that is true, but what is also true that despite all those things about my body, in no way does it impact my work as a social impact consultant. And it doesn't stop me running this incredible collective, this body politics collective I'm here to talk about today. Also stop me playing silly buggers with my nephew, being a great friend, so on and so forth. Now the reason I'm telling you all this isn't because I lost loads of weight and now I feel great. It actually starts with me struggling with anxiety a few years ago. And over the course of 2 years, I gained 3 stone and 2 dress sizes. And what was surprising about this, aside from the fact that I was able to inhale double cheeseburgers, was the fact that I didn't even notice I'd put on weight. I was fortunate enough to be raised by a woman whose self-worth was never equated with a weight. And so it took some pretty vocal feedback to alert me to the fact that I was fat. Things like my friends tell me I looked well instead of beautiful on nights out. My auntie comparing my widening thighs to those of my adorable but very chubby niece. And also being vomited, that last slide showed, being vomited at as I ran down the Ashton Canal by 2 guys who were just stood by the side. My body was so disgusting. So, after a bit of sobbing, I then thought, fuck no. And luckily was involved in organising a feminist festival at the time. The theme was wellness and self-care. And I did a couple of talks on the body positive movement and body image. And an amazing thing happened. At the end, lots of people started coming up to me and were talking about how they were connecting the dots between how they felt and what they were seeing. And the fact that they now understood and empathised with other people's experiences that they hadn't had themselves, and most importantly, wanted to do something. So we did something. A group of the most incredible people of all races, ages, genders, sexualities, abilities came together and we asked ourselves 3 questions. What problem do we want to solve when it comes to the narrative around bodies? Why is it important that we do so? And what do we want that future to look like, that narrative to look like? And essentially the idea was being free to be okay with me. To get there though, we did a hell of a lot of research. And one of the things that unsurprisingly came out was the influence of the media and its lack of diverse representation. Now, if you're not a white, young, thin, able-bodied, cisgender and straight woman, it's highly unlikely you're going to see your body reflected back at you often in the media. And when you consider that by the age of 18, Western women will have been exposed to 100,000 ads pertaining to the importance of physical appearance, you can start to understand just what kind of impact that noise has. On top of that, though, is social media. And we also get to see our friends and family reflecting back very shiny images. And when our body narrative is mostly informed by nearest and dearest, it makes sense as why young girls feel this way about their body at such an early age. Beyond culture, though, there are issues in economic systems. Pink razors being taxed, being charged at £2 more than blue razors made in exactly the same mould. Issues in policy too. Tampons are taxed as a luxury item, whereas crocodile steaks are deemed a necessity. I mean, don't ever try and shove one of those up your vagina. And healthcare presents its own issues too. Issues like endometriosis, which is a pretty severe reproductive issue, causing chronic pain and potential infertility. It takes 7.5 years to diagnose because doctors just think it's bad period pain. The most incredible thing about this, though, is that we're not wise to it, we're not woke to it. A lot of the ways we think and feel about our body is subconscious, so it impacts our thoughts, our feelings, our choices, our behaviours. And it's having a big impact. Eating disorders are increasing at a rate of 7% year on year amongst young women. 26% in the UK today have mental health issues, and 19% is the rate amongst young men. And also, the average British woman will spend this much in a lifetime on cosmetics. 140,000, that should say, oh yeah, it does, is the cost of a semi-detached house in Bolton, people. I mean, it's just not okay. So, what are we doing about it as a collective? First up, we're raising awareness. We are getting people woke to the things that make them feel free to be okay with me, or not so much. And whether it's through our regular get-togethers or sharing insights online, it's how we came to find that fashion brand, an international fashion brand based in Manchester, was charging more for plus-size clothing, but not for tall or less for petite. And we're currently researching abortion law in the UK and Ireland to be ready when the proposed erosion of reproductive rights under the Tory and DUP coalition comes into play. We're also making sure that people are becoming more understanding about other people's experiences, and primarily that's through the very, very simple act of sharing stories. I don't know what it's like to be discriminated against as a woman who wears a burqa, or to understand the stigma that comes with suffering depression as a young man, but people in our group do, and they share those stories, and it's inspiring some pretty cool shit, namely this, which is the Verschreiner. Yes, that is a tent shaped like a labia, complete with a clitoris, and were you to peek inside, you would find vulva castings from our glorious community showing just how different your downstairs can be. I think most importantly, though, for me especially, is that we do something, we take action. And for the group, whether you just sit and watch the narrative and take that in, or you get involved in events or campaigning, as long as you are getting woke, being more understanding and making more positive choices about your body, then our job here is done. Earlier this year, Liv, who's one of the girls involved in our campaign, ran a campaign around period taboos, so that we all stop saying stupid shit like time of the month or on the crimson wave, and actually just use the word period. So whilst I can't speak for everyone else in the group, as a girl who's just got up in front of you all and owned her fat body, I can honestly say that this is a journey that's helping me feel free to be okay with me.